update you on the status of our school renovations. We have Amanda Thomas from King & King Architects here with us to give us that update.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. I'm here to update you on the Pine Grove project, which, as you know, passed referendum in December. With a 3-to-1 vote, it's a $29.4 million project. We are currently, with myself and other engineers and architects on my team, working on the design process. We're hoping to be complete with that in the spring of 2014, with construction starting in the summer of 2014. We look forward to your continued involvement in the project, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you for your time today, Amanda. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Now we can get on to the next item on our agenda, Proposition D93. Our city is seeking a source of electricity. The government's had a lot of discussions and done some research, including talking to engineers from Siemens, and we have decided we need a backup form of energy. We have passed the Energy Supply Act. This will ensure that our city will never be without power. So we have here today 7 energy companies that feel they can provide us with a safe and efficient form of energy. After hearing all of their presentations, I will ask you to vote on the 2 energy sources that you feel should supply the power to our city. Keep in mind that we will ask you to vote for the company that provides the best presentation. Now we have our legislator, Alexis Becciu, to give us some background about Hot Springs and to introduce Geotech for our first energy company.
Hot Springs has a population density of 5,000 people per square mile. It also has an abundance of open space. Hot Springs is a wealthy town. There are hot layers of rock beneath the city, easy, accessible, and hot springs. That is why geothermal is beneficial and has no pollution. Now welcome Geotech.
Hello, my name is Alex. I'm the head scientist at the Geothermal Company.
I'm Alexander, an architect for Geotech.
I'm Aiden Hawkins, and I'm the chief engineer for Geotech.
I'm Leonard. I'm the business manager for Geotech.
And we are here to talk about our process of the geothermal energy and how cheap and renewable our sources are.
Next slide. Our model is an example of a flash geothermal plant. This is the most efficient type of geothermal energy out there, and that is why we chose it.
Water that is heated beneath the Earth's crust by hot rocks is pumped up into the pipe house, where it is put into a system that turns the rest of the water that hasn't already been turned into steam. Then it is pumped into our turbine room, where it spins the turbine, generating electricity. The electricity goes to our inverter, which then which makes the voltage bigger, and then it goes to our transformer and then to the power lines. The steam goes into our cooling tower, which condenses it all back down into water, and then it is pumped back down into the ground with the rest of the water.
According to this graph, compared to other companies, geothermal energy produces the least carbon dioxide. We chose this graph because carbon dioxide is the only emission produced in the geothermal process.
We are a 99% clean renewable energy source that works around the clock in any weather, good or bad.
It creates 700 to 900 jobs per plant.
Do you use the water that is pumped up from the ground?
No products are burned or transported.
When the water is pumped in and out of the ground, it scrubs sulfur that would have been originally released off the rocks.
Thank you for your time, and vote today. Go Geo, all the way.
Anyone have any questions for Geotech?
Hello, my name is Jacinta. My husband owns 500 companies worldwide, and I'm the richest in Hot Springs. My concern is how will you make sure your company is not blocking my view of Lake Dojo Motivator Mountain?
Well, our all of the buildings are very small because everything that we really need to do is underground. So everything wouldn't be blocking anything really.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions or comments for Geotech?
My name is Amanda Knapp, and I'm from the Media Hub, and my question is it possible to run out of water? If so, how do you deal with it?
We actually don't run out of water because the water that we take from the ground always winds up going back into the ground, breathing it like a cycle.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm from the Media Hub, and my question is how are you dealing with the threat of earthquakes?
We are dealing with any threat of earthquake because the last earthquake was in 1997 and in Switzerland, and there's never been an earthquake in the U.S. And the only reason there's an earthquake is because of careless earthquake.
Thank you.
Next, I would like Noel Zeski, a legislator from Black Rock, to come up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mel Zetsky, and I'm a legislator from Black Rock. Black Rock is a blue-collar neighborhood on the outskirts of Eagle Beach City. It is surrounded by ever so beautiful Motivator Mountains, which are rich and abundant with our natural coal. It is clean and saves money. We can bring energy to you in a groundbreaking American way. I would like to introduce Earth Power, which would like the opportunity to come to Black Rock. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian, Chief Engineer of Earth Power.
I'm Vinny Tedesco, the Business Manager for Earth Power.
I'm Emily, and I am the architect for Earth Power.
I'm Dave, the scientist of Earth Power. Coal is a fuel that is found in the ground. It is made of the remains of plants that died millions of years ago. Soil piled up on top of the remains, and that weight compacted it into a more dense material called coal. The energy in the coal came from the sun and was stored in the plants. When the coal is burned, it gives up that energy as heat. The coal's heat energy can be turned into electrical energy. This happens at a plant.
Process to receive energy from coal starts with 15,000 tons of coal transported to the plant, enough to keep it running for a couple of hours. A machine called a separator puts the coal on a quarter-mile long conveyor belt and brings it in the plant. Then inside of the plant, 30 hours worth of coal is stored in bunkers. From the bunkers, they move to the feeders to be measured and moved to the pulverizers. Each generating unit has 16 coal feeders and 8 pulverizers. Each coal enters the pulverizer and spins in the large drum, and hundreds of steel balls grind it into a powder. Then iron oxide is mixed in the coal, simply heating the coal, making it reusable. The iron separates from the oxide. The oxide is encapsulated, and the iron is melted down and given back to the city. The heat from the coal warms water, creating steam, and that spins a turbine, creating energy.
In our facility, we get coal by train that comes from the Black Rock Mountain. The train puts the coal into the coal bunker. Then the coal is put on a conveyor belt to the coal transport pipe, which goes down to the pulverizer, making the coal dense. Then the coal dust and the iron oxide go to the reaction chamber, which causes a reaction with heat, which heats the water, turns to steam, goes to the boiler. The boiler gets steam, goes to the turbine, turns the turbine, then the generator, generates electricity. Then electricity goes through the power line to the customer.
This is a graph showing the amount of coal we use in the United States compared to other countries, and it shows just how much coal we have just in the United States, and we also don't need to buy coal from other countries as well.
10 pros why coal is a good energy source. Cheapest source of energy, it's by far the cheaper than nuclear, natural gas, oil. Hydro usually will be slightly cheaper, however, problems with hydro include no facilities because of public outcry when river valleys are dammed and peak demand times problems. Rivers running dry in the dead of summer when peak air conditioning is needed, and rivers are frozen in the dead of water when peak heating is needed. Also, coal is American made. We do not have to import this product into this country.
Is there any questions or comments?
Hello, I'm Holly. I am a mother of two, and I live in Black Rock. My two young children both have asthma, and I have been told that coal has actually, in the past, put pollution into the air, and I was just wondering if you could put me at ease and tell me how you guys are 100% sure you will not harm their lungs.
We use a method called iron oxide burning, which simply heats the coal without creating any other pollution besides the 1%. Now this 1% would traditionally be pumped back into the earth, but here at Earth Power that just doesn't sound green enough. So we did some searching and we found a company right here in Ithaca that makes it possible for us to encapsulate the CO2 and send it off to a company called Novomer. That is a green company that recycles the CO2 and turns it into things like paints or bottle caps.
Are there any other questions or comments?
I'm Tommy. The technology you're proposing is 20 years away. What can you do for us now?
It's very simple misunderstanding. When we say that the technology is 20 years ahead, we simply mean that there is no other city is capable of it. The closest place to getting technology is right here in America is Ohio. The iron oxide separates. The coal iron is hot melted and given to the city or sold to other companies, which again lessens the price to all the other citizens. The number 20 simply means that WBDC will be just that much more elite over every other energy place on Earth. The next margin, 40 years away. Now, excuse me if I am wrong, but can any other method do all of this for people? For the welfare of people and give back to the community? I do not think so. Now that technology isn't 20 years away, it is just simply a vote away. Thank you for your question.
Now we have Michaela Ceresi, the legislator from Renton.
Hello. Rapid Pool is located by the Cedar Fly River, and it is densely populated with about 50,000 people per square mile. If chosen, the hydroelectric system could offer supply a chance to hold a renewable and non-pollutant energy source. The company that would be in charge of the hydroelectric process is H2 Electric.
Well, I'm Nate Kasser, the business manager for H2 Electric.
I'm Kaylee Kavanaugh, and I'm the head scientist for H2 Electric. I'm Daniel Carlson. I'm the architect for H2 Electric.
I'm Jesse Hodge, and I'm the chief engineer for H2 Electric.
Okay, for the science behind hydroelectric power, water is held up behind a dam. This creates potential energy. Releasing the water and directing it through turbines converts potential energy into kinetic energy. This energy, which is mechanical, spins the turbines. Turbines are connected to generators and is turned into energy. Electricity goes into transformers to get energy to a safe voltage and out to places where it needs to be. And right here you can see the water is being taken in by the intake pipe, and it flows through the head stop, and the kinetic energy in the water turns the turbine, which is connected to the generator, which then produces electricity and that electricity is sent to the inverter to change from direct current to alternating current.
After it goes through the inverter, it's traveled up through this wire right here into the transformers, which increases the amount of electricity, and then it travels through these wires down to a specific location.
These are some graphs about hydroelectricity. As you can see, South Dakota has a whopping 53.5% in hydroelectricity. It's really popular.
Why you should go.
Once the dam is built, there is free electricity for up to 150 years for the entire city. It's renewable and eco-friendly, and it doesn't cost much to operate, unlike coal where you have to pay constantly.
There are also very few breakdowns. It's guaranteed energy and price stability. It can be easily started and stopped on demand. And the water can be used for other things, such as drinking water.
Are there any questions or comments?
Hello, my name is Deb. This is my husband, Johnny Bob.
As a father and fisherman, I have heard of the plan to help fish go around the dam. I've also viewed recent public service announcements on how building dams are expensive.
How can you justify the cost of building the dam?
Well, once the dam is built, it will give you free electricity for up to 150 years, and you won't have to pay anything.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions or comments?
Hi, my name is Skylar. I'm from the Media Hub. What would happen if the dam sprung a leak? If the dam sprung a leak, we can always drain the water through the sluice gate into the Superfly River.
So the water goes into the Superfly River?
Yes, and then it can be pumped back through using very little electricity.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Jordan Clark from Stratford.
Hello, I'm Jordan, the representative from Nashville. Our town is a lower-class, middle suburb just outside the city center and is looking to improve the economic standards on the city. Under We Built the City, there is enough natural gas to power it for the next 100 years. I would like to welcome New York Natural's Energy Company.
Hi, I'm Harrison, Chief Engineer for New York Natural.
I'm Casey, and I'm the architect for New York Natural.
I'm Patrick, the head scientist of New York Natural.
I'm Kyle, I'm the business manager of New York Natural.
Next slide. The hydrofracking process roughly takes 200 tanker trucks of water to go down into the well to pressurize the Marcellus shale underneath to crack it. Then the sand mixture in the water will hold the cracks open and allow gas to bubble back out of the well. The natural gas then flows to storage tanks, which is trucked to a pipeline for delivery to generate electricity.
This is how our facility works. First off, all of our materials are brought in and constructed. When the drilling process is started, they will drill down to about 6,000 to 9,000 feet to the shale layer. When they get to the shale layer, this is where horizontal drilling is done.
Once the horizontal drilling starts, the water pressure cracks open the Marcellus shale, having the natural gas bubble out, and then it is then stored in a storage tank, and then transported by train to wherever it is needed.
Some statistics with other energy companies is obviously that natural gas is cheaper than hydroelectric and solar energy. About half the cost from hydroelectric, and solar energy is a lot more than just natural gas.
Some pros for natural gas is that it burns 20% cleaner than coal and oil.
It's a popular fuel for generating electricity.
And from the time span of 2000 to 2015, natural gas will become 20% of America's electricity source.
Natural gas has less carbon dioxide than coal and oil.
It also matches coal's energy output.
Natural gas is also cheaper than oil as well.
Economic pros is natural gas is cheaper than coal, and we will have approximately 1,400 wells with an estimated 37 jobs per well. We will be giving We Built the City over 51,800 jobs. And then by 2020, the Marcellus region could generate $34 billion in total economic value across Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for natural gas?
I'm Johnny and I have 3 dogs and I am concerned with the pollutants getting into my dog's drinking water.
Well, the pipe that we use to begin with is 3 layers of cement and then 3 layers of steel, so there's really no way that the natural gas should be able to get out of the pipe. And not only that, drinking water is usually only about 400 to 500 feet deep, while we're drilling 6,000 to 9,500 feet below Earth's surface.
Are there any more questions for natural gas?
What effect will this have on wildlife?
Well, as you can see here, we have a wildlife reserve, so we can have animals for food.
Is there any more questions for natural gas?
Hi, I'm Sarah and this is Gibson and we're both from Media Hub. And our question is, hydrofracking has been in the news a lot lately. Is this a new technology?
No, hydrofracking has been around for over 60 years.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I would like to call up Callisto Raymond from Solvo.
Hello, I'm Sierra, Communications Director from Solvo. Solvo is an underdeveloped arid region that sits on the other side of the River Valley. It has a population density of 1,000 people per square mile. Prospective businesses have identified this area as a prime location for a solar field producing electricity through a photovoltaic effect. Please welcome the employees of JRCH Solar Incorporated.
Hi, my name is Summer, and I'm the business manager.
I am Caitlin, the scientist.
I'm Evan, the chief engineer.
Photovoltaic systems, or solar panels, are made of solar cells. These solar cells are made of electrons that, when ignited with the sun's rays, jump back and forth, creating a direct current. Then that direct current is ran to the inverter, where it is turned into AC, or alternating current. Then the alternating current goes to the transformer where the voltage is increased.
So the sunlight hits the solar panels and creates electricity by the flow of electrons in the solar panels. And we have batteries in it for when it's nighttime. And then it goes to the wires underground to the inverter and is changed from direct current to alternating current and goes to the transformer and changes to a higher voltage. Then it goes to the wires to its destination.
As you can see, this graph shows the decrease in the amount of money we need to spend on solar panels. With the cost going down, little worries if we have to replace a solar panel. Some pros are that it is renewable.
It pays itself off.
There's no pollution.
It will give We Built the City over 13,000 jobs.
It's safe.
It lasts for up to 1,000 years with no output.
50% output.
Are there any questions for solar energy?
am Sandy Davis. I'm a mother of 6 children. I need electricity, but I also need money. I'm scared the cost of solar panels will be a lot, and I'm scared that it might take food from my children's mouth. How can you make me feel comfortable voting for you?
Well, the solar panels will pay themselves off in 20 years.
And we really won't be paying that much over this amount of time.
Are there any more questions for solar energy?
I'm Caitlin, I'm from the Media Hub, and my question is, are solar panels prepared for all types of weather conditions?
Well, we really won't get that much weather because there's Mount Motivator near us, and all the weather will happen behind the mountain, and then there really won't be any left for us.
Now, our legislator from Breezy Meadows, Katie Engineering, will introduce our next energy company.
Hi, I'm Katie Engineering. I'm the legislator representing Breezy Meadows today. Breezy Meadows is a rural area with about 500 people per square mile. Farmers are excited for the opportunity for additional revenue made by leasing their land for creating of a free, renewable, environmentally friendly energy. Here to talk about wind energy are representatives from Tornado Wind Turbine Company. Thank you.
We are Tornado Wind Turbines, and I'm Jack Biscay, the architect.
I'm Greg Buck, and I'm the chief engineer.
I'm Moses Leo. I'm head scientist. I'm Beth Beckler. I'm business manager. What happens is the wind turbines take the kinetic energy from the wind and make it into mechanical energy. The energy generator switches mechanical energy over to direct current and then switches over to alternating current, which is then big greenhouse gases.
The wind hits the blades of the turbines, rotating a shaft attached to a gear system. This system of gears speeds up the mechanical energy, then spins the generator, making alternating currents. The currents flow through a power cable to an inverter, converting alternating currents to direct currents. Alternating currents are currents made for usable households.
This is our model, and in the model we have 9 wind turbines. These turbines generate electricity from wires that travel under the ground and connect to an inverter here. Then the inverter does not generate enough power, so then it connects to the transformer to strengthen the power, and then finally the power is transported to your house by a series of power.
And current one is powers and wind power is 2009. Other jobs 63%, manufacturing 21%, construction 11%, and operation and maintenance. And how loud is a wind turbine? A wind turbine about 0 meters is about as loud as a lawnmower. And the beep of the city will be about 400 meters away, so it will be about 440 decibels, about as loud as your refrigerator.
Okay, so a couple reasons why is there's no pollution at all. It does not interfere with any wildlife. And
There's no pollution or greenhouse gases.
well, there will be more turbines on our actual field. We just had to make them smaller, so there will be around. It will put out around 200,000 kilowatts.
Are there any questions or comments for wind energy?
My name's Rocky, and I live in the neighborhood of Breezy Meadows. The Committee on Power recently passed the Breezy Meadows safety laws. How will you follow these laws to make sure none of the windmills fall?
So, on the job check saw there is maintenance, and in our storage shed we have a bunch of utilities to put back, if something does break, to put back on our turbine.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions for wind energy?
Hi, I'm Kennedy. I'm from the Media Hub. And my question is, are wind turbines capable of handling all types of weather conditions?
Well, if the weather gets too bad, like if the wind starts to blow too much, there are brakes on them that slows them down so they won't get damaged.
Okay, thanks.
Now I'd like to have Ryan Hargraves from Adams Center to come up. Hello, my name is Ryan Hargraves. I'm a legislator from Adams Center. Adams Center is the most dense out of all the employees with 60,000 people. Adams Center is the home of Pine Grove Laboratories and located in the home of the new nuclear plant. With more than enough energy to power rebuild this city safely and efficiently. Now, Alan Seaman.
I'm Lindsay, the head scientist.
I'm Chris, the chief engineer.
I'm David, the business manager.
And our architect could not be here today. How it works. Imagine following a bolt of electricity back to the wall socket, all the way through miles of power lines to the nuclear reactor that generated it. You encounter the generator that produces the spark and turbines that turn it. Next you'd find the jet steam that turns the turbine, and finally the radioactive uranium bundle that heats the water and steel. Welcome to the nuclear reactor.
Our model is showing you what happens above ground and below. Above ground, our model is showing the energy being transferred into electricity and steam coming out from the cooling tower. It's transferred into electricity inside this room inside here. And then the steam comes out of the cooling tower here. Below ground, our model is showing the water coming in through a pipe coming from a cool water source, then going through a condenser. Then through a pump up to the steam generators, which bring it through the uranium vessel, which turns it into steam. Then it is transferred from the steam generators through pipes to the turbines. The steam spins the turbines, which generates energy, which is brought above ground to be transformed into electricity.
This graph depicts the cost to produce electricity. As you can see, nuclear is consistently lowest and is currently lowest. And these graphs are from World Nuclear Association. Why should you vote for nuclear energy? It is immediately available and can start making energy very fast. The energy is produced in large amounts. But there is enough power. Nuclear power creates enough power not only for our city, but we can sell it to other cities around us. Uranium 238 has a high half-life, so it will burn longer, so we don't have to replenish it.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for nuclear energy?
My name is Joe. I am an attorney at law, and we built the city. And sometimes I like to go fishing in Lake Dojo, and I'm worried that the hot water from the reactor will pump back into Lake Dojo and kill all the fish. How are you going to solve this?
The hot water is cooled down in the cooling tower, and then once it's cool, it is pumped back into the cool water source.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions or comments for nuclear energy?
Hi, I'm Zoe and I'm from the Media Hub.
Just to clarify, what are you going to do if the power plant overheats?
Well, the building is surrounded, like, in many layers of cement.
The walls are 7 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming out today and listening to our presentations. I hope you all learned a lot about these different forms of energy. I know I have. Hopefully you have decided on 2 energy companies that you feel should power our city. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Tyler Lindquist that will give you direction for the vote.
Thank you again for coming out today. We are going to vote in room A8 today. It is the last room in this hallway, and if you are unable to stay and vote, you may vote online at We Built This City polling page. Thank you and have a great day.